Please adhere to YouTube's selected guidelines before viewing the content of this video. I do not encourage or condone any products, actions, or behaviors shown in this video. All videos are produced in a safe, professional, and controlled environment. Please do not attempt to replicate any actions performed during the video. All actions are performed by professionals.
Alrighty, so today I rolled a cigarette with a napkin, and now I'm going to be smoking it to keep my lungs clean, which honestly I am very, very, very excited to do. And I honestly do think that this will indeed keep my lungs clean because, well, napkins are meant to keep your hands clean. So if I roll a cigarette with a napkin and then smoke it, doesn't it make sense that it would keep my lungs clean as well? Which I definitely will admit I definitely do need, because I be smoking a lot of cigarettes that are not rolled with napkins. So as such, my lungs are kind of black. And as such, I certainly do hope that this cigarette right here will clean my lungs and freshen them up to how they were before I even smoked a single cigarette. You know what I'm saying? But what are my expectations for this experience right here where I'm going to be smoking a cigarette rolled with a napkin? Well, napkins have a very, very, very different consistency than rolling paper. So as such, I definitely do think that this will be an interesting experience, that is for sure. I don't really know if it's actually going to be a good experience. I don't actually know if it's really going to be a bad experience, but I definitely do think it's going to be a different and interesting experience, that is for sure. What are my expectations though, taste-wise? Well, I'm very much not expecting the best taste in the world, that is for sure. I'm definitely expecting very much sort of an overwhelming paper-like taste, maybe with some chemical taste in there as well. I'm definitely expecting the ash to be, well, very ashy, and I'm expecting the ash to kind of go everywhere, which is going to be a little bit annoying, that is for sure. I'm definitely expecting this to be a little bit harsh as well. And overall, those are pretty much my expectations. Maybe the cigarette will burn a little bit faster than usual as well, but overall, those are pretty much my expectations for this experience. But I am very, very, very excited to find out whether my expectations are going to come true or not, or whether I'm completely wrong. And I'm also very, very, very excited to find out whether this is actually going to clean my lungs or not, or whether it's just going to harm me just like a normal cigarette. But I do think, without further ado, it is now time for me to go ahead and get this cigarette right here that's rolled with a napkin, all lit up, and go ahead and let you guys know how it actually is. Yes, sir, yes, sir, you know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead and get this lit up. I gotta get my lighter out of my pocket first. I got my lighter out, you know what I'm saying? I got my DG lighter with me today. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get this lit up. Yes, sir, you know what I'm saying? Well, right off the bat, it doesn't even want to seem to burn. I definitely was not expecting that, that is for sure. Well, I got a little bit of smoke off that, but I really was not expecting this. I expected it to burn quicker than not, that is for sure, but this does not even really seem to want to burn, which is honestly a little bit odd, that is for sure. The body is really, really, really small right off the bat kind of thing. And the ash, I can already tell, is going to be pretty flaky and everything like that, but I'm not going to go ahead and try to ash it to really find out yet. But the body is really small. It is a little bit rough, don't get me wrong. And the taste overall, is just kind of a paper-like cardboard taste kind of thing. It's how you would, it tastes like a napkin. I've accidentally eaten part of a napkin before, where I was like, put the napkin in my food for whatever reason, and I accidentally took a bite of it. This just tastes like a napkin. I ain't gonna lie kind of thing. That's exactly what it tastes like. It's just a very paper-like, napkin-like taste kind of thing. Literally smoking this, it tastes like a napkin. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. But right off the bat, I am very surprised. And it really is not actually smoking all that well at all. Interesting. I'm gonna go ahead and just ash it real quick. And actually the ash is not super flaky at all. It is actually staying very, very, very well put together. When I ash that, everything stayed together as a chunk. I am very, very, very impressed right now. I will admit I was completely wrong about that. But it is a little bit harsh. And it is very, 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 not slow burning per se, but the airflow is very, very, very small. And I think that might just simply have to do with the consistency of the napkin itself. Maybe there's like a lot of holes in the napkin itself and everything like that kind of thing, whereas with rolling paper, there's like no holes in the paper. So as such, there's just a lot of air escaping and everything like that kind of thing, leading to me not really getting a lot of smoke in my lungs and everything like that kind of thing. Very, very, very interesting, that is for sure. Definitely was not expecting that. But as we're getting towards about the 1/3 point and everything like that kind of thing, or the 2/3 point, I do suppose is the right way of putting it, it is definitely getting a little bit more easy to smoke and everything like that kind of thing, and the airflow definitely is picking up a little bit, which makes sense as we're getting closer to the filter and everything like that, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, taste-wise, it just kind of tastes like a napkin. It is decently rough, I will admit. I was completely right about that expectation-wise. This is definitely decently rough, but taste-wise, it pretty much just tastes like a napkin, but a little bit burnt, a little bit of chemically taste in there, but really not all that bad of a taste kind of thing. If a normal rolling paper tasted like this, I certainly wouldn't be giving it the best rating in the world, that is for sure, but I'd probably finish off the pack. In all honesty, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go ahead and just get a little bit of screenshot real quick though. I ain't gonna lie, y'all, though. This is a rough cigarette. This is definitely a rough cigarette, that is for sure. But overall, yeah, no complaints on my behalf. This is a different experience than I was expecting, and this is definitely an interesting experience. I was completely right with that expectation, that is for sure. This is definitely a very interesting experience, and definitely, is it living up to my expectations? I'd actually say it's exceeding my expectations. This is actually a slightly better experience than I was expecting. It's extremely rough, don't get me wrong, but the taste is not terrible kind of thing. It's definitely better than a Maverick Red taste, that is for sure. Not really super chemically at all. Just kind of tastes like a napkin that you might accidentally get in your mouth or something like that kind of thing. You might accidentally chew on a napkin. It kind of just tastes like paper. Maybe a little bit of burn taste in there, maybe a little bit of chemically taste, but really not much at all, in all honesty kind of thing. The ash is not super ashy, and it actually stays together really well. When the wind picks up, the ash doesn't just go everywhere, unlike some rolling papers. I will admit, this is actually really good. And I do suppose it makes sense with the ash kind of thing. I was thinking because of the different consistency, the ash was just gonna go everywhere and everything like that kind of thing, but actually napkins themselves are actually pretty thin when it's only one layer of napkin. So I do suppose that makes sense, you know what I'm saying? Definitely not as thin as something like, let's say, a raw black paper, though, that is for sure, you know what I'm saying? Overall, though, is this getting me buzzed? Man, not particularly kind of thing. The airflow is still very, very, very low, even though we're getting towards the filter and everything like that kind of thing. So as such, it's definitely not really getting me super buzzed. I'm definitely not getting a lot of smoke in my lungs and everything like that. And now that we're a little bit closer to the filter and everything like that, I actually think I'm gonna go and just test the body real quick, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, the body, as we're getting towards the end of the cigarette and everything like that, really is not all that bad, you know what I'm saying? Certainly no complaints on my behalf. But overall, can I actually taste any tobacco or anything like that kind of thing? And is this actually cleaning my lungs? Well, to answer the second part of that first, I do not think this is cleaning my lungs. Certainly not. It's pretty rough, you know what I'm saying? So as such, I definitely do not think this is cleaning my lungs, although that certainly would have been a nice gimmick, that is for sure. And can I taste any of the tobacco? Not really. The paper taste is extremely overwhelming. I can taste a little bit of the tobacco. The tobacco I used for the cigarette right here was some Pharaoh's unfiltered tobacco, which is a little bit sour and everything like that kind of thing. And I definitely do get a little bit of sort of a sour, almost tobacco-like taste, but the paper taste is definitely very, very, very overwhelming, that is for sure. But overall, definitely still not the worst experience in the world. And honestly, this is burning surprisingly slowly, that is for sure. And definitely not too much tar coming through kind of thing. I was definitely expecting, I can't remember if I actually said it, but I was definitely expecting a decent amount of tar to come through. But there really is not a lot of tar coming through. Probably also because the airflow is extremely small and I really am not getting all that smoke. At least I wasn't at the beginning kind of thing, but there really is not a lot of tar coming through. There is tar coming through, but not a lot of it kind of thing, which is very, very, very interesting, that is for sure, you know what I'm saying? But I do think without further ado, it is now time, now that we're almost at the filter, I'm gonna go ahead and finish off the cigarette right here and go ahead and let you guys know my final thoughts on this experience. Yes, sir, you know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead and finish this cigarette off. But it's pretty much at the filter and everything like that kind of thing. What are my final thoughts on this experience, and would I do it again? I would not do this again. Frankly put kind of thing. I would not roll another cigarette with a napkin and smoke it. I would not do it. Rolling the cigarette with the napkin kind of thing was a little bit cumbersome, I will admit, as well kind of thing, because I use my raw rolling machine to roll the cigarette that I just smoked and everything like that kind of thing. But trying to roll it in the rolling machine, it started bending and everything like that kind of thing, just simply because of the malleability of napkins and everything like that kind of thing. It was a little bit hard to roll. So as such, not even really just for that reason, I would not want to smoke another one of these cigarettes again, but smoking this cigarette as a whole, it definitely was not the best experience as well, which is definitely playing a part in the fact that I would not really want to roll another cigarette with a napkin again and smoke it. That is for sure. And I'm saying, the taste definitely was not really the best in the world. It kind of just tasted like napkin. It's pretty much what it tasted like. You got a little bit of tobacco taste in there, but not really much at all, I will admit. And overall, not really any sort of chemically taste or anything like that kind of thing, just kind of napkin that maybe tastes a little bit burned and everything like that kind of thing. It was actually pretty slow smoking, I will admit. The ash stayed together really, really, really well, which I really was not expecting. And it was a little bit rough, which I was expecting as well. You know what I'm saying? Overall, this certainly was not the worst experience in the world, but I definitely would not do it again, just simply because the taste is really not all that great kind of thing. The airflow was tiny, you know what I'm saying? And it was a little bit cumbersome to roll, you know what I'm saying? But without further ado, it is now time for me to go and end the video right here, now that I've gone ahead and given you guys my final thoughts. And as said, I would not do this again, but overall, it certainly was not the worst experience in the world. And honestly, it's a mildly, it's an average way kind of thing. I'd say, not an average, below average, slightly below average way if you don't have any papers, if you don't have anything to smoke with or anything like that kind of thing, but you can roll a cigarette with a napkin and everything like that kind of thing. I do suppose this is an all right alternative to rolling papers and everything like that kind of thing, but definitely still not something I would recommend that y'all try at home, that is for sure. But still something that I am very, very, very glad I tried. And as predicted at the beginning of this video, it certainly was a very, very, very interesting experience, and definitely was very different than what I was expecting. That is for sure. And I'm saying, overall, certainly no complaints on my behalf. As said, I wouldn't do this again, but it certainly wasn't the worst thing in the world kind of thing. It certainly wasn't the worst thing in the world. I definitely am not sitting here going, wow, that was terrible kind of thing, because it really wasn't. It just was kind of meh. I don't want to do it again because it wasn't really the greatest experience in the world, but in all honesty, it was not terrible. I would definitely much rather just use normal rolling paper, though, that is for sure. But without further ado, it is now time for me to go and end the video right here. Thank you very much for watching this video, guys. I certainly hope you guys enjoyed watching me smoke a cigarette that was rolled with a napkin to keep my lungs clean. And also, I forgot to mention, did I keep my lungs clean? Did this experience make my lungs clean and everything like that? I don't think so, in all honesty, kind of thing. It was pretty harsh. I'm pretty sure I got a decent amount of tar in my lungs and everything like that. So I definitely do not think that I kept my lungs clean, but for all I know, it did keep my lungs clean. I have no clue. It could have worked, you know what I'm saying? It could have worked. But without further ado, as said, it is now time for me to go and end this video right here. Thank you very much for watching this video, guys. I certainly hope you guys have enjoyed watching this video. And if you guys have enjoyed watching this video, of course, please make sure to like and subscribe for more content. I have my Instagram, my book, my merch, my P.O. box, and my second channel all in the description down below. Go check them all out. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, y'all. Until the next one, stay safe and peace and have a great one. Yes, sir, you know what I'm saying?